Good morning, everyone. I'm Ricardo Santana from Santana's Cleaning Service. Yes, it's a big challenge for me to talk right now. I haven't done any presentation since I was in college in Mexico City. I'm from Mexico City. I'm the first immigrant that came from my family to the United States. I take the adventure to come to America when I was 19 years old. Actually, I turned 19 here. Had my visa for a student. I was going to get my major on industrial chemistry industrial. I always liked to play with chemicals, things like that since I was little. Somehow I was accepted to go to Berkeley with my transfer for the UNAM in Mexico City to here. Back then it was easy. Now it's a challenge. Since I was the first person in my family, my parents said, no, don't go. What are you going to do by yourself over there? We don't have family. Somehow my dad find a relative, third generation cousin that lives in Morgan Hill. He owns some strawberry fields there, and I said, no, he find that person. I said, okay, send it over, I'll help him, whatever, which was, sorry for my language, it was BS. He never helped me. So, yeah, I went for a semester in Berkeley, and I had to quit because I was by myself. I was sleeping in my car for a month, back with him. He said, no, get a job, start working. You have to pay rent, you have to pay this. So, all right, that's no big deal. I started working for him at the strawberry field. And I say to myself, okay, I take as the lesson of the life why I'm here when I have all the communities in my house. I have my own bedroom, my own TV. I love motorcycles. I have my motorcycle back in Mexico City. So I said, what am I doing here? I said, I want to take a challenge. I'm not going to back with nothing to Mexico. So somehow I went to McDonald's and I said, do you guys need looking for a job? I'm looking for a job. They take me a month to get hired at McDonald's back then. Because I was bothering the manager until I get tired of her. I said, but I'm not going to be cooking. I don't like cooking. I now I'm cooking, but now back then I don't like it. So I started seeing things that was broken. I started fixing. The owner for the McDonald's in Morgan Hill said, oh, you like to fix things. So what about if I pay you the class in San Ramon to learn how to fix the water, the soda fountains, the grills, everything? I said, I'll take it. So I went. I spent 2 weeks in San Ramon taking a class. And then I say, we used to pay a lot of money to fix things, and he paid me just the minimum wage. I find a job. Somebody I met, they say, hey, we're looking for a janitor at the St. Louis Hospital, the old St. Louis in Morgan Hill. And I said, well, I need an extra job. I'm not back to school. It's all right, I'll take it. That's the way I started working as the janitor. When I worked as the janitor, 2 years later, the hospital was closed because they moved to Gilroy. And I started working at the hospital as the maintenance person. Funny story how Santana's Clinic started is because the doctor was there to ask me, hey, senor, he was a Filipino doctor, they ended up my kid's pediatrician. Can you clean my office? And I say, I don't have nothing. She's like, I'll provide to you. I said, really? I say, yeah. And later on you start buy your stuff. And it's like, okay, deal. And I take it as a job because back then I married, my wife was pregnant for my first child. And I said, well, we need an extra income because we was pay rent and everything. She says, all right. So we take it as a job. And this doctor hooked me with another doctor and another doctor and another doctor. And at the beginning, Santana's Clinic was service for medical offices. And when I was working in the hospital, I learned how to make sure we disinfect everything because I learned how to clean rooms, operation rooms, all the stuff. What is the required? And I take classes of that. For about 6-7 years, I had a business like that. But back then I always say, my major investment is gonna be my kids doing well and be part of the life of my kids. When they was little, I always involved with helping my kids at school. I coached my daughter's soccer for over 11 years. We have a couple championships. I coached my son for 7 years because I say I want to enjoy his games now. So that's, to me, maybe that's why I don't have a bigger company because my investment was my kids, my family. That's the way I grew up. And during the pandemic, when back then we have residential and commercial. On the recession of 2008, I find out that when the economy is going down, the first thing the people or the homeowners cut is landscaping and house cleaning. Why? Because it's not enough money. So we keep going. We passed the recession. We made me survive. It was my commercial cleaning, my commercial clients. When 2000, during the pandemic, we had the same situation, economy go down. We got cut for all the residential. I say, no more residential. We want to stay with the clients that we have for several years. And I start more emphasis to get more commercial. I was recovering for pandemic, and I watched on the news, the Latino Business Foundation has these classes collaborate with Santa Clara University, this course online, to help Hispanic people to learn how to manage with the building, how to create, how to make the foundation from your building and all the stuff. They did so many courses, collaborate with Santa Clara University. I take the course with them, and I graduate. After 7 weeks, they take my classes online. And it was a big achievement for my kids, because say that, no matter how old you are, you keep learning. You keep teaching us how can be successful in life. Yes. So that's part of my history, how to grow up my business. In the meantime, when I was still doing my service, I met this general contractor in Moran Hill who teach me how it needs to be clean at post-construction cleanup. Especially because back then he built the houses. Back then the cost was $8 million, $10 million. Pebble Beach, Carmel, Aptos, all the big areas. And I say, okay, I clean your office, but I never do this job. Tell me what you want, and we want to make sure we do the job. He explained to me, remove the drawers, vacuum everything, wipe it out everything, use the right chemicals. I start finding about chemicals, what kind of chemicals I can use in certain wood material, floors and everything, besides what I know, what I learned in the past. For example, on this picture, this is a project on commercial projects. This is the old hospital in Stanford we did a couple months ago. This floor is about 40 years old. The problem with that project is Stanford has so much money, a lot of money. They want to remodel that labs and those classrooms because in 5 years they're going to tear down the building. They need to spend $100 million to remodel that area. So they tell me, can you try to make it as new? I say, I'm not promised that, but I want to try to make it. This was the final cleanup. This is another project. There used to be the old fire station for Stanford. They created this beautiful classroom, conference room, and everything. This is the way we ended with the project. This is the way I worked for Gordon Prio for over 12 years. Pretty much I'm doing all the projects for them on Google, Stanford. We do a couple projects at Slack building, and it's private, it's governmental. Almost taking my molar and keep it with them because they check everything. And different projects and different general contractors like Luna Builders. I find out he's my friend. I worked for him for 10 years. AK Construction, this is another general contractor, do a lot of houses in Peninsula area. And Bay Area Builders, more commercial. Like I said, working in San Luis Hospital as a janitor. And this is the type of service we do for regular services. This is an office. They have 78 people working in the office. I take a little screenshot a long time ago, but this is the way we finish the project at nighttime. My staff do the jobs. This is the project for Google building, 101 in Broca Road. We remove all the plastic cover on the elevators, on the stainless steel, remove all the glue. See the ladies, we follow all the OSHA protocols and stuff to follow to the jobs. My staff has to have the hard hats, steel tools, 2 boots, and always working like that. And this is the end with the elevator. Polish it, no scratches, no nothing to presentation. And another project for Google. This building, we cleaned everything, and this is the way. My staff work in one of the labs. And another type of job that we do, the commercial, this is the way we get the jobs when we enter. This is a nice house and kind of an interesting client because as the pet, he has two camels and Gilroy. Interesting. We finished like this. All this, it was a challenge to clean it because we can move the ladders or scaffold, nothing, because it was the kitchen island here. So we find a way to clean it and make sure it's polished, no any spots. Windows, we scrub the windows. I teach my staff how to use it, how to clean and perform it to looks like it's no glass between. You had a beautiful, especially because that house has a beautiful view to the valley. Shower, remove all the dust for the construction and everything. And this is the way we perform our job at Santana's Cleaning Service. I always say, I learned this from my friend, he's a veteran. He's always, when we was coaching, he's always tell the girls or the boys, you can do it. And I say, yeah, we can do it. Thank you. Ricardo Santana from Santana's Cleaning Service.